Welcome to podcast 323 of 5-Star Potential, your weekly Football Manager podcast. I'm Dupe, and on this week's pod, I'm joined by Joe, aka Friday Night FM, and Dave, aka I've got a voucher for a free Peroni. Which,
Hey, we've got to start. We've got to start that no context 5-star pod, haven't we?
Do
we explain that or what? Like, people just won't get that.
What, you're tighter than Dupe's missus?
Oh, it was a voucher I had and I used it. That's it. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's nice. I think we just leave it like that. Dave likes a free pint. Lads, how are we? Are we okay? We good? Everyone happy?
Very good, very good.
Super. Happy Sunday to everybody. The beta's finally here. So on this week's pod, we're going to talk about our first impressions of FM24, and we go over to France for an adventure in Wonderkid-Land. But before all that, give me your winners of the week, lads. Joe, who's your winner?
You, mate, for nailing that first part.
Do you know what? First time as well. It's amazing.
No one will ever know.
They will, because Dave's shit at editing, so everyone's going to know.
I'll say it, mate. Loving FM24. Winner of the week.
Nice. That's good. Okay.
He's had a good start, hasn't it? A few days. Positive.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get onto a little bit of each of our experiences, but yeah, it's been very good to read on Twitter as well. So yeah, I think everyone's happy. Dave, what about you? What's your winner of the week?
I think it's Twitch for me. I've returned. I've dusted off the stream deck. I've dusted the camera I use quite often, but found my Twitch password, and yeah, we're rocking and rolling.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, it was good to have a Dave stream back.
I agree. I was painting today. I had the painters in. That's not a euphemism. Right. And I just had Dave in the background. It was great. It was really nice.
It does bring out some of the best characters in the FM community. So
you have like a very strange selection box. Yes.
But half of the references that are on this podcast come from those streams.
Yeah,
yes.
So
100%. My winner of the week is probably going to be my dining room table that's got this on, so we can actually do a podcast on a Sunday night. And I've actually played 3 games of FM. I've played the last 2 hours, and that's it. So I've had a bit of a mare this week, but it doesn't matter.
So you've taken more photos.
More photos of me playing FM.
I'm playing FM on the train. No, you've done it for Twitter, mate.
No,
you're
genuinely,
such a
right?
slag for likes.
I've got my mate. At least I didn't ask for 1,000. I got my orange juice, and I got my pan of chocolate, and I was like, "Here we go, perfect." I took a picture, started playing, and then the train just got so busy, and because they had loads of cancellations, because Swindon was flooded. I was pretty much, Jane nearly sat on my lap, and that would have been the first thing she'd done this weekend. So it was close. But so I thought, it's just risky. And people were drinking beers because they were all off to the football. I didn't want to get a spill on my Mac, so I just put it away. But yeah, I did a little bit.
Flexing,
but we're having fun
about having a Mac as well.
Yeah, that's the only reason I took a picture, and probably to show that I can pay for public transport, because that costs a fortune a train nowadays. Loser of the week, Joe. Let me hear about your loser.
Minor loser, and I'm just going to say there was a couple of little things that I've seen cropping up about FM24 that have made me delay the Familiar Cow save. Nothing horrendous, just a few little things. I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a couple of weeks and then I'll start it. But all that's meant, as we'll talk about later, is just starting just loads of new saves to try different things. So it's not a massive loser, but it's just they didn't want to call it a beta. It's the early access, and I thought, they're hyped for this. They know this is kind of ready to go. And it's just a few little bits which could quite possibly be hot fixed out and not affect your save game. But I just kind of didn't want to risk it straight away. I got all year to play this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a normal Joe thing to do, though. You normally smash like a save a day, where you just go in and do some play some bits and stuff. Like when in the beta, that's been you kind of in recent history. So I'm glad that you're doing this. I like it. I like the way you can flex a few bits and work out a few bits before you jump in. I'd hate, because like when you're loving FM, you are one of the most, like, you'll smash it. And when you don't, like, when you're falling out of love with it, you just distance yourself from us. and from FM. So you do. So it's nice to know that you're just holding off and waiting, so you can, we can be friends all year round. I like it.
It is a case of if I'm loving it, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But if I can't stand it, mate, I'll just disappear. I'll do a teach, come back 7 years later.
Is it 7?
6.
6, wowzer. Dave, what about you? Who's your loser of the week?
You know what? I think I might have to, since I've returned to this podcast, I think Wolves have not lost a game. So I think the loser of the week is me, because Gary O'Neill is a married man. And yeah, another 3 points on the road for the Wolves. So
I mean, you needed a red card though, didn't you, Dave?
Yeah, but you got to,
you got to play what's in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We battered. To be fair, we absolutely battered him. After
to be fair, FM Meta, get the big lad up front,
mate. You know what?
Two goals, 2 winners, isn't it?
Yeah, he's played less than 45 minutes of football for Wolves this season and scored 2 winning goals. So
it's like Duke on FM.
Yeah, and he's all right. I'm getting him. Well, we'll talk about it, but I'm getting him scoring goals on FM as well. So had an ACL injury, Kalajdzic last season. Played 45 minutes of Wolves last year on his debut. Didn't see him again. So yeah, it's nice to see him scoring goals.
Do you know what was nice as well this weekend? Where I've been quite busy. I had Talk Sport on, and I heard the goal, and I celebrated for you, Dave. I was well chuffed for you because obviously Bournemouth as well.
Unless they're playing your team, I think we've got to be de facto Wolves fans, haven't we?
Thank you.
I don't mind Wolves playing. Yeah,
I sat there for 5 minutes to have a bite to eat. I just watched West Ham concede. The minute they conceded, I got up and walked out and just went and carried on doing work.
No,
I was like,
unless we talk about that shit,
I don't like it. But no, GG Wolves. Unlucky to Dave that can't marry Gary O'Neill. So, did he get some shit from Bournemouth?
Well, they sort of hyped it up. I think it was a big game for them and their fans, obviously, because he was coming back. And I think secretly in his head, he was loving it, but he tried to hide it as much as he could.
Because they haven't won yet, have they?
He made comments about when they left them. He goes, "I've joined a big club now." So I thought, this is going to come back to bite him, isn't it? So
that's a fair comment, though.
Yeah,
Wolves is definitely bigger than
Bournemouth. There's a good. I don't know if I think it was BBC did a post-match press conference where the guy was saying, you made these comments, and he looked into the camera instead of looking at the interviewer. He looked into the camera. Yeah, that literally looked into the soul of the viewer to I didn't he said I didn't really mean anything by them comments or whatever. So
he bottled it. He proper bottled it.
But to be fair, that was it. Iraola. He came to England with some a lot of people talking about him, bigging him up, and I think he tries to play the right football, but at Bournemouth he just hasn't got the players to do it.
No, I mean that's always going to be tough, isn't it? Let's bless him. Yeah. My loser of the week is me. Well, actually, no. My loser of the week is my wife, my solicitors, and the estate agent. Basically, who the fuck arranges to buy a house the week that the Football Manager comes out, and I have to do a load of shit and work and move. So yeah, just me. My game time has been down. I'm hoping now, because midweek you can actually probably get more into it because I can only make noise for X amount of time. But yeah, unfortunately, I've not done as much as I'd like to play. But I've played some today, so we can have a good chat about it in a minute. Because
do you know what's weird?
What's that?
I've seen a lot of people not about this week when it's been released, and it doesn't feel like people are like, "Oh no, I'm going to miss out." Obviously, you got Kev and Jack.
Yeah,
pretty much been straight out of the box. I mean, I think Jack's on episode 5 of his YouTube series already, and
that's mad.
Kev's done quite a few as well. They're banging it out straight away. But I've seen quite a few people going, I'm on holiday or this, or I'm not going to rush to make content and things like that. It seems a little bit more relaxed this year. Like the game's the most refined, and everyone's kind of like, do you know what? No real rush.
Do you know? I saw a tweet from Stinger, I believe, him saying very similar, saying look, I could go and make a video today, but I want to make the most refined content he can. So I think that's nice. I think it's really good. I'll be honest, as much as I love watching Dave stream, and I do love watching you stream, Dave.
Thank you.
It is a case of I wish I could, but that's good. And that's the thing I do like is the fact that I'm sat here going, I'm gutted I can't stream, instead of going, I'm not really that fussed that we're not streaming. This is the first beta in 6-7 years that I haven't rushed on and started a beta save and started putting some sort of content out. This is the first bit of FM24 content I've done. So maybe it will make me hungrier. If not, it will make me disappear. So one of the two.
I think in terms, I mean, you've seen it's as popular as ever because you've seen the numbers that Miles has been putting out. I think it's the quickest the game's ever reached 1 million matches played and then 2 million matches played. But I think with the way that just obviously I've not really been in the sort of content creation game over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, but I think the way that content creation with Football Manager has completely shifted. It used to be all let's plays, right? I've got to be the first to do United save. I've got to be the first to do Chelsea save or whatever. And yeah, that's the bread and butter. But with how content's shifted, it's all very much focused on rebuilds and specific types of videos, which are always fresh, almost year round. So I think that's the thing in a good way as well, that everyone's going to have their fair share of, content and, and with the different ways to play the game this year, which we discussed last week with the Your World saves and stuff. There's for the next 12 months, there's just going to be so many different ways and scenarios to play the game.
That's the one, isn't it? Because of rebuilds, it's now kind of looking like that's where that's come from, like those game modes, because there's lots of people going, I'm going to rebuild their transfer window. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do you know what? That's going to make lots of different interesting content from the start, probably. I don't know how long that'll last, but YouTube's been pretty good for what's out there. I've not watched too much on Twitch, but YouTube, there seems to be a lot of people doing different things. There's your normal usual, like Chelsea's, Man United's. I mean, the Chelsea rebuild is obviously Jack's done that, and it's fucking this mate. It's ridiculous how much money he spent, but then he's still got Mason Mount playing centre mid as a second Valente.
Hey, he did well for his 4 minutes against Sheffield United. Do you know? I watched a lot of rebuild stuff previously in the Madden world. That's quite a big thing over there. And it is very interesting. You can do it with every team, and you can see if you can, just quick fire them through. And I think one thing from my first impression of it, which we will dive a bit deeper into, but like seeing the actual game itself makes me want to focus more on watching the game rather than watching the stuff outside the game, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But like you can, in previous games, you can just fly over it and just go, look, here you go, transfer, bang. But from what I've seen, and the match engine looks beautiful, you want to see as much of that as you can.
You got to give a big shout out to Ruud van Nistelrooy and his team.
Oh, do you know what?
Because to be fair, like Nick Madden for out of context again, but it's lovely and it plays really nice. There's obviously patterns of play that you see. It's going to happen, isn't it? But I think when you're seeing all the positional play, the rotations of players and things like that, like there's loads of people are going straight in with the different roles, obviously with fullbacks, etc. Like so, they're moving around positionally. I've not really got involved in that too much at the moment, but I've watched a lot, and it's pretty cool to see what people are doing. I watched an RDF video this morning on Liverpool, and we had Curtis Jones playing as a halfback, but the way that it worked positionally in game and like what he was using as a reference to real life, it's like perfect positional play, because him playing as a halfback on the left side of midfield as Robertson's gone forward and things like that, mate. It was just, I was watching, I was going, that's pretty sick that within like a few days, you can use the new roles and things to replicate new styles of football. And obviously we know they watch loads of football and they try and implement what they can in the game. And it's certainly looking good. I just hope after the beta or early access, nothing gets nerfed or like every year it always seems like someone moans about something and then it changes it and then it kind of goes back to being the same as it was. I just hope that it can kind of it moves forward rather than having to go backwards because a few people don't like something.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, that's been issues in the past, hasn't it? But I mean, even Dave's winning, and so
just
must be
about.
up.
Yeah, just about.
As that is the case, Dave, and we kind of move on to that for a short while. Save update. Do you want to just give us a little rundown of how things are going on over at Wolves and where people can find that?
Yeah, so I did a just over 2 hour stream on Thursday night, and then I would, as of today, Sunday, I did about just over 3 hours, so just over 5 hours of game time, and I'm just about to kick off November, so we've got quite a few months done. As always, we didn't have a huge amount of money to spend anyway, but I sort of tried to get into the Premier League season as quick as I could. I played a few friendly matches just to see what the match engine was all about. And our first game of the season, we played Fulham and lost 1-0. And I thought, oh no, this is going to be a long, long save. But to be fair, since then, we went, I think, 10 matches unbeaten in all competitions, a lot of draws. So that was quite frustrating. But I'm really enjoying it. Like last year, I just could not. I don't know what it was. I played a lot in FM22 last year. Really struggled to get into the game. I was just playing it on and off, but enjoying the start to the game so far, and different passages of play like you've spoken about, set pieces which we'll talk about. But there's just so much new elements into the game that may have been there last year, but I wasn't quite aware of. But sort of actually watching the game for me now is like really, really enjoyable. But I sort of went into it. Obviously, Wolves IRL the last few weeks have sort of switched back to a back five. So I've sort of tried to sort of play a similar system to that, and obviously had to make a few tweaks, but seems to have started off all right. Defensively, it's okay. Starting to score a few more goals as well. And yeah, hopefully, can push for Europe. It's probably a bit too far, but yeah, money wise, I only signed. I sort of mentioned it to you boys earlier on. There's a really good amount of young English talent, I think, this year on the game. And I think if you can jump in early enough within the first couple of seasons, if you're a team sort of mid-table in the Premier League and you pick up some of these guys, you could make a serious profit on some of them in the future. I signed a young lad from Wigan, a young centre-half on loan by the name of Charlie Hughes. I got him for a couple of £1 million. Again, he's just sort of going to sit between the 21s and the first team as a backup centre half. There was another lad as well that I mentioned. If I quickly find him here, he joined Fulham, I think it was. And I said, oh, he's a really good player. But someone said, well, he actually plays for Peterborough, and they signed him for £3 million. He's called Ronnie Edwards. He's a really solid player as well. So there's lots of those. I've been looking at Joe Bellingham and all sorts. So no, really enjoying it so far. And one of the things, set pieces for me, I was like, yes, I've conceded from a few, which is frustrating, but I think, I don't know, hopefully it's not very, very easy and very quick to master, but the set pieces could give people so much, difference in animations and the type and style of goal that you score. So early days, but yeah, so far enjoying it.
That was one of my highlights of your stream the other day.
Which
you
bit?
literally stream and went, I'll be the set piece coach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can see the party like, bollocks.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know how easy or how many set piece coaches there would be in game, and it was weird. I was watching sorry to bring up Joe Brick, watching the Villa West Ham game today, and Villa have got their own set piece coach that they spoke about a number of times throughout the match, and sort of zoomed in on him in the dugout and stuff. And obviously I knew it was a thing, but I just thought clubs just used to tend to give one coach that role rather than having a dedicated person to do it. So that's why I sort of up my attribute for that, and I've put in charge of that now. But yeah, I've tweaked something since the stream today, because I was playing it short from the corners, and it can be frustrating at times where you play it short and they play it immediately back to the corner taker and he's offside, and it was starting to pee me off a little bit. But there was a number of times where I was playing it short, and then there was another guy on the edge of the box that we were laying it off to, and he was, either scoring some bangers or it was getting tipped over the bar and creating real chances. So I've switched a couple of players about to get a good long shot taker on the edge of the area to hopefully score a few more goals from that. But the one that I conceded twice from today was a direct free kick about 25 yards out, and rather than the player shooting, they played it short into the penalty spot and conceded a few goals that way. A little bit like
the Zanetti one.
Yeah. Holland as well in the World Cup, was it last year as well? So I think if there's a way to sort of perfect that as well, there could be some good goals. And the way the wing backs or full backs are receiving the ball, just everything about it really. So no, I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, long may it continue.
Dedicated set piece coaches are a thing. Like, they are so key. Like, United have got one, and since we got him, we've scored one set piece. So.
Yeah.
Mate, if we're going to that Villa West Ham game, the amount of Ward-Prowse corners that West Ham put over the bar from like central positions with headers, mate, I bet if you had, well, I haven't looked at the XG, but from set pieces, mate, I reckon there was probably 3 or 4 headers from 6-yard kind of box that we put over the bar, so we could have easily taken. I mean, West Ham take advantage of set pieces really well. Probably be quite good to see it in game, see how good JWP is.
He scored. I think he scored against me on there today. I think we beat. I think it was a 1-1 draw. I think off the top of my head, and then beat West Ham in the cup. But yeah, he was just different class. There's some of the finishes this game, like the curl and swaz they get on some of the finishes from the corners. A lot of goals from tight angles. But but as well, Semedo kept picking up some great positions for me. And rather than, I've seen it a lot where players are playing it right across the face of goal and scoring a couple of tap-ins that way. But then other times where Semedo, Nori tends to cross in, Semedo tends to shoot. So I think I'm going to try and maybe put him shoot less often tomorrow and see if he starts whipping them in a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, because I didn't play much, some of these animations and some of these patterns of play may have been in last year, but I really like the one where the midfielder receives the ball and almost just plays in the full back in behind every time. It looks class.
I think as we're talking about things that we like and we've seen, let's talk about some other first impressions that we've seen and enjoyed. One, I'll tell you, I showed you in the call earlier where Julian Brandt got the ball on the edge of the area. He dropped his shoulder, flicked it out to the right, and then curled it top bin. The ball just seems to move delightfully at the moment. Like, it just seems to look like a real football, I'll be honest. I don't know if you guys have seen that, like the bounce on it. It just seems to, even down to the fine detail of the spin on the ball, looks like it corresponds what the ball's actually doing. I've seen some brilliant goals. We are only in pre-season. We've got a very good team, I'll be honest, but the goals and you know, it's the most exciting part of football. It just
I'm
seems
looking
to
forward
be
to having like McTominay and someone as like inverted wing backs, Mason Mount.
So I'm with Dortmund, aren't I? So I haven't got United.
You will.
But I've got Slotterback as my inverted fullback at the moment. And it works very well. And then I've got some young lad on the left that just seems to bomb forward all the time. So it just reverts to a back three. The Volante looks absolutely gorgeous. Something that I used a lot last year, or kind of for the first time really last year, and I'm using it now. Sat next to an anchor, and it just like exploiting so much time and right on the edge of the area where he comes in late and the ball just comes out to him, and these shots are just delightful. And it just seems to be very, very interesting to see. Like I said, I've played probably 4 or 5 games, and it's tingling down there, boys. It's tingling.
I'm rocking a double Volante at the moment. Oh, sorry. Yeah, double Volante in the system at the moment. Yeah,
I like it though. Have you used them a lot?
Like I said, I think I used it a couple of years ago. But yeah, this one.
Let me ask Pav. He'll tell us.
Yeah. I got João Gomez and Lamine there at the minute playing together. But I've just got a few. I had a game. I think it was against Spurs. I brought Tommy Doyle on, and like he was a little bit like he came on against Bournemouth yesterday, and he was unbelievable. And it was a little bit like that, just having like a little bit more control on the ball and getting him in and around the edge of the area. I'm hoping for a few long range goals, but yeah, this like I said, I think the match engine, like graphically, like you said, the movement of the ball just looks so clean, so much better. There's still a few things, and it's so picky from me. I had a game. The first game I played was at the training ground. And I just thought, I don't know if it's my computer, the trees just look shit in the background. And that is like, who cares?
That's the thing, they should be.
Yeah, no, who cares? Like the buildings looked unbelievable.
Hey,
and then there was just like some Minecraft tree. I was like, what is this? So, no, everything else was bang on. So, that's just way too picky from me. Yeah.
That is quite picky, to be fair, Dave. That's a bit harsh. We touched upon the set pieces. I want to just talk about the set piece coach or setting up the set pieces. What's your thoughts on the way that takes you through, kind of holds your hand? Because I kind of, when I first saw it, I kind of thought, oh, it's the same, just dressed different, but it does feel very, very different when I've been through it.
All I have done so far, and I will go into it more in depth, is I've clicked the suggested one. I've just gone suggest, click them, and just to see what happens in game. So I've kind of, because over the last couple of years, it's been more about just letting it run default, because set pieces always felt a little bit more kind of OP. Like if you play them, I think the game, because it still tries to balance it, I tended to kind of just leave it rather than just scoring from set pieces. I wanted to score from open play. And I think in FM, because it tries to balance the league out, I think if you're scoring from set pieces, it restricts what else you can score from, is how it always felt to me. So I just left it a bit more default. But now I've kind of just wanted to see what the default suggestions look like. I've scored a couple of near post headers before I start tinkering and kind of seeing how it all plays out.
I guess that's the joys of doing the beta saves and doing the little things. Where are you now, Joe? Granted, when the pod comes out tomorrow, you'll be somewhere.
I've probably started somewhere else. Yeah, I've loaded a West Ham save, done nothing with it.
Okay.
I've loaded a familiar cow save just to update all the graphics, make sure everything's all there.
Nice.
I've done a Boca Juniors save, which I've got, and I've got a Monaco save at the moment. So
Wow.
Boca Juniors is what have I got? Like a 4-3-3 system running. None of the new fancy roles, just a standard 4-3-3. Monaco, I've gone 3 at the back, wing backs. So just having a go with that, and yeah, just having a play around really, just with a few different things. Don't want to get stuck where you kind of go, I'm loving the save.
Yeah.
So I just kind of because with Boca, I think I could fall in love because it's South America and just get involved, and I kind of don't want to get stuck to something in a beta early access when I want to do the familiar cow save.
That's the main problem, isn't it? Like you said, I think that's kind of something that would worry me, but luckily the way I've planned, it
Mate,
isn't.
if you look at the Boca Junior team, the Boca Juniors, if you look at the younger sides, mate, they're stacked with players. So it'd be so fun in like a couple of years just bringing them through. Be unreal.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm only really kind of playing with the inverted fullback at the moment, just to kind of give that a little play. But yeah, I mean, this Dortmund team is sick. You got Adeyemi, Marlon, Mukoko, and Raya as a front four. It's just insane to use.
Spicy. One thing I tweeted about it the other day, and it's again about the interactions. So Valentin Barco, the left back at Boca Juniors, he's obviously he was good last year, but he's like massively highly rated in real life and everything now. He's got an £8 million release clause at the start of the game. So I thought, right, I'm going to just try and re-sign him on a contract. As soon as I discussed it with his agent, they locked in, he'll want an £8 million release clause. And one of the options when I was talking to the agent was being unrealistic. At this time, can we not have anything locked in? And then they just turned around and it went, because it come up in gold in the text about the release clause. Right. And I said, can we not be stupid about it? And it took it off. And then he signed. I put a 20 million release clause on him. And I thought, I don't remember seeing that last year. I think that might be something new, but I was like, but the interactions were supposed to be better. And I thought, do you know what? I like that. I like that a lot.
There has been different. I've noticed a lot in the press conferences when you first meet the team. All of that, it's kind of the ladder is all changed, the way that it goes about things. I actually got caught out on my first press conference because I was just doing second from the left. And I went, oh, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right at all. So yeah, again, I haven't really got into player interactions yet, but the whole press conference stuff has mixed up, and you've got to think about it now. Unless you send your assistant like Dave does. Do you do press conferences?
I've done every single press conference this year.
Wow, that's what you're winning.
Yeah, I know exactly. Right. Nah. Someone said, "Why have you not just spammed every second option?" And I was like, "Nah, mate, I'm reading them. I'm reading them just
that ain't a thing anymore. Honestly, I've learned the hard way with that one. It's not a thing."
I had one. Who was it? Sean Maloney, who's Wigan manager, sent for me saying we were crap, even though I beat him 4-0. So I silenced him, and then
League One.
Yeah. And then Steve Cooper said something about me as well in the press. So sent for him as well. So I'm making enemies.
No, I like it though. That's good. Yeah. Player wise, I mean, Dave, like you said, you've probably played a bit more than all of us. Has there been any standout awesome players that people need to keep an eye on? Maybe not just your Wolves team. I think you were talking about a certain centre midfielder for Tottenham in your save earlier. Højbjerg was
Højbjerg was ridiculous, man. He just couldn't get the ball off him. But I think I've loaded in my save because, to be fair, and again, twofold really. I think South America, like Joe just mentioned, whether it be Argentina, Brazil, I think the youngsters coming out of there at the moment are absolutely ridiculous. And it's actually something like an area that Wolves IRL have looked at. So I thought, let's add that as a thing. But there's some top talents coming from there, and I think we may well bring some up in the future on the Wonderkid-Land. But I think there was a centre half, Joe, that I mentioned to you before, who's called Jair. Jair. 6'6".
He's been in there a couple of years, bruv.
Yeah, 18-year-old centre back, but he still looks pretty good. There was a Chilean striker, Alexander Aravena, who looks tidy as well, and I think he's available for quite cheap. But he's like a Eraser. You remember Eraser back in the day? It was a little bit like
Matthias
him. Really.
I looked at him. Yeah, he still looks good. I looked at him for Boca.
He's a Granada, isn't he?
There's a winger, Brazilian winger called Lauren. Looks very tidy.
Sounds fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard the name Lauren. No, and who's the number 10, Joe, that you mentioned? The Brazilian guy as well. Scored a hat trick or something.
Oh, Estevao.
Yeah. Estevao
from Palmeiras.
Yeah. So I'm keeping tabs on those players because there's some tidy players coming about.
Mate, I was saying to do I think you disappeared, Dave, but last week when we talked about Santiago Jimenez.
Yeah. He bagged again this weekend.
Played 8, scored 13 in the Eredivisie this year. And he looks tidy on 24 as well. But a bit of bags, man.
Yeah, I've got a chap at Dortmund, centre midfielder, Felix, and he's 22 years of age, and he's more of an attacking player, but he's got good tackling for attacking player. So he's got 12, 13 tackling. So I've just played him as the Volante. And he's just pre-season, he's just been insane, and I'm excited to see what he does for the rest of the season. To be honest, because he just seems to score goals and be in the right position at the right time, and you can't ask for much more than that. Joe, what about you, Monaco? Anyone you've seen anyone really outstanding?
Not really, mate. Balogun up front. I've only played a handful of games, but he's tidy up front, very tidy. But yeah, not really. I tried to sign David De Gea on a free transfer. I got him in on trial, and then he's ended up signing for Al Kebab.
Wow, that's probably because he's seen your tweets that you took the piss out of him about his popping on wrists against West Ham last year.
I've never insulted him. I've always thought he's a great goalkeeper. Just asked to do things that he's not comfortable with.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, like save a shot.
Mate. Whoa. His shot stopping was elite.
Mate.
He couldn't play out from the back, mate.
I didn't. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with United.
You've done the same thing, innit? You've signed a Taibi.
No. He was sound yesterday. Absolutely sound yesterday.
With the greatest of respect, you played Sheffield United.
All right, Dave's getting excited about beating Bournemouth. They haven't won a game all year.
We beat City 2 weeks. Yeah.
Bournemouth have got a team full of fucking FM Wonderkids, mate.
Yeah. Well, it's like doing the streamer showdown on the first day of the season and picking all your Wonderkids. What's the point of that? You're not going to win shit. Right, moving on. Anything else you want to add, gentlemen, to your first thoughts? Anything that we've missed, or I've missed, I should say, that you've kind of grabbed hold of and you want to share with the world?
Go on, Joe.
I was just going to say it's nice to have something new to talk about.
I was going to say as well, forums, as of yet, touch wood, no Wolves complaints.
You're lying. You're lying.
Nothing.
If you
as
haven't
soon as
got
I see,
the game
if I see someone, no, even better than that, mate. If someone who listens or watches the pod complains about Wolves and makes a reference to the podcast on there, I will treat you to something.
You'll never have to buy Football Manager again.
The only one I've had, and it was privately, and it's not even. And to be fair, nothing that I would have had anyway. Bellegarde, who we signed on deadline day, played a couple of games at left wing for Strasbourg, and he's not down as a left winger in game. So
terrible.
That ain't that for me. It's not my beef.
No,
I'd like to thank you for Chiquinho. To be fair,
he's ridiculous. To be honest,
he's ridiculous, mate. I'm like happy days. Get a decent season out of him.
As you say, he's only on loan for 1 year, right?
Yeah, I'd be surprised, Joe. Unless you have a mad season, you'd struggle to keep him. I think
Joe just instantly tries to extend that deal for another year.
Yeah,
it should be good. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll hear even more about all of that next week. But we are going to move on to adventures in Wonderkid-Land, and this week's adventure in Wonderkid-Land sees us head to League 1, and we look at the left-sided player that we think you'll enjoy. Souleymane Isaac Traore. Okay, Joe looks praised. Against Rems today, his stats were 1 goal, 39 passes, 79% pass accuracy, 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 block shots, 10 clearances, 5 out of 6 aerial duels won, 7 out of 10 all duels won, and he's 20 years of age. Excellent performer by the tallest outfield player in Europe. Wowzer. Now, looking at him.
Now, if that doesn't scream FM meta player.
Yep.
And if you're going to look for him at Lorient as well, his name's just Isaac Traore. Toure in the game.
But you just added that bit to kind of make me difficult. We
Yeah.
need to add the fact that he is a centre back. He is also left-footed, like so rare. And how tall is he, Joe?
6'8", 16 stone.
6'8", 16 stone. And he has the potential ability. That's weird. To see him fit right in with the Premier League's best. He is an exciting player, Joe. Really exciting. So this is the first game that it was his first debut. So awesome, absolutely awesome. Where is he?
I think I've come across him before. I don't remember him being as good as he is now. Like his attributes look nice now.
Yeah,
and I mean, when we was talking about 20 jumping reach, you know, I can just see him getting signed to take advantage of set pieces.
Well, yeah. I mean, strength for 17 as well. Wow.
This is a modern day Badiashile, isn't it? 100%.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, like, yeah, you look to France, pretty well priced. Benoit Badiashile. This guy, I don't think he's going to be elite level. Like, you're going to sign him for your Cities, your Arsenals, and whatever. But I think outside the top six, mate, you want to centre half, and you get the knack of set pieces. I think he's going to be an unbelievable player.
I want to have a look at him. I want to have a look at him actually playing in a game, because you remember like Jonathan Tah and people like that just look massive in the match engine. Like they just look physically huge. I need to have a look at him because I think he's going to be a bit of a tank.
I feel like I want to start United and say get him in and just put him against Lisandro Martinez and just see how they look. So just like this.
Martinez will run out holding his hand like a mascot.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. That is so funny. But yeah, no, he looks, and like I said, with the fact that Dave's been bleating on today about how awesome the set pieces have been for him.
Bro,
this is
all the short set pieces for me. I haven't really done many, but I say that. I mean, I've been playing the short set pieces, but I think crossing and heading is quite powerful so far this year. I've had a lot of. I haven't really been playing the ball in the air, but I've conceded quite a few goals off headers, so I think you could definitely take advantage of it at the moment.
Well, he'll be a danger in both boxes, right? So that's awesome. I think he's going to be one of those players that we'll see for most people.
Have you seen his trim on his face pack?
No,
he's got the Chelsea trim, mate. That's who he's signing for.
Oh, yeah.
Crikey. I mean,
What
he's
a
got a big old
Disassi
four,
trim.
and he'll be fine.
He's got the Disassi trim, mate.
Yeah.
The Sterling trim.
Madweki. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Cole
I just can't get over how good he is. At that age as well.
Looks nice, doesn't he? For 20-year-old centre-half, left-footed, he could be tidy.
I mean, the only thing we can say is he's a little bit slow. Like, I mean, if we're gonna big him up with all the positives, he is a little bit slow. He's got 10 acceleration.
He's
got
6'8"
12 pace.
16 stone, mate.
Yeah.
He's an HGV, not a Ferrari.
Do you reckon he comes with the beeping sound as he walks back? It's
reversing.
Yeah, 14 heading, 20 jump and reach. It's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Okay, well, let's see how he gets on, because normally we've got a bit of a good curse here that they go on to do some pretty impressive things in the next few weeks. Dave, we're going to jump over to you for the quick quiz, right?
Yeah, man. We'll do the same as last week. I know a few people asked, and it was Immaculate Footy we used. So me and Duke did forget to put the link in the podcast as soon as we did it. But this week is... It's not too bad, actually. We've got, across the top, we've got PSG, Napoli, and Monaco. And across the left, we've got Spain, Lyon, and Argentina. So ideally, we want to get as obscure as we can. But they're some nice teams, lads, to be fair.
Okay.
So, I mean, should we start top left, PSG and Spain?
Sarabia?
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
I can think Ander Herrera.
Any from the old school days that you boys can remember or not?
You boys? Maybe the same with Joe.
Mikel Arteta?
Yeah, I was going to say Arteta played.
Play for these, yeah?
Yeah.
5%, good start. I think 5% or less is bang on, really. So
you say that, and the next one we do is just massive.
We get what do you want to say? PSG or pick with Spain? Or stick with Spain.
Stick with Spain.
Yeah, so do Napoli and Spain.
Pedro.
I think Pedro. I was going to say Fabian, but I think that's obvious.
Yeah, Fabian as well. Yeah.
Pepe Reina.
Reina's a shout.
Reina was in there. Didn't Michu play? No, he didn't play in Napoli.
Yeah, no, Michu played for Napoli. He went there after Swansea, didn't he?
Oh, mate, that's a shout.
Well,
Then.
just for one season, didn't it?
I think Michu's the one, 1%. Bosh.
Why has he not got
Nice.
a face?
No, he ain't got a picture. Is he?
Not unlocked him yet.
Spain.
Spain and put the face back in.
Spain and Monaco.
Cess, but I think that's a bit.
Yeah, Fabregas.
Cess is probably a little bit.
Blank on some of these, I am.
Oh, didn't. No, can he?
Trying to think. Wolves had a few players from Monaco, but I don't think it was anyone.
Normally Portuguese, though, right?
No, Spanish. Yeah. I can't think of anyone for now, actually. Seski's the one, but I think that'll be a.
Should we come back to that one?
Yeah,
Because
come back
to that one. Yeah,
I think that's.
Go to the next line. Lyon and PSG.
Ooh,
I think all them Lyon ones are quite hard, actually. Like you got to think Lyon, Napoli, Lyon, Monaco as well.
Ben Arthur. Hudson Ben Arthur.
Yeah.
They play for both, eh?
Yeah, but I think that's going to be quite a relatively
33.
Yeah.
Don't matter. These are quite tough, I think. Napoli and Lyon as well.
The only one I can think for that is Ndombele.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
That's the only one.
Some of these, there might only be one or two people.
Maybe.
90%. Oh my days.
90.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Sorry. I mean, I did say it's the only one I can think of.
Lyon and Monaco.
There's going to be a few here.
My French football knowledge is
hang on.
rubbish.
What's the kiddie I used to have on the back of the Lyon shirt? Who's the really famous one? Lyon.
What, Benzema?
Lacazette,
back in the day. I can't
Sonny
think what his name is. Sonny Anderson.
What's his name?
Yeah. Sonny Anderson.
Sonny, Sonny.
Yeah.
Before your time,
5%. We're back.
I had a shirt with his name on the back when we did not a school trip, but a football tour to Lyon.
Yeah.
And that's what they gave me.
Argentina, PSG. I mean, there's Messi, obviously. Icardi, Pastore.
Hensey.
Gabriel Heinz is a shout. Did he play for either of the other two, though? Because that could be one for the other two as well.
I don't think so.
Play for Monaco.
I don't think so.
Definitely PSG, yeah?
Heinz did play, yeah. He went after us.
2%. Nice.
Like that makes up for my 90%, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Argentina, Napoli.
Oh, there's a few.
Maradona.
Maradona.
Lavezzi's one as well.
Higuain.
There's been quite a few, hasn't there?
I mean, I
wonder what Higuain.
And
Lavezzi, what do you reckon out of those two?
And Simeone's lad there at the moment.
Giovanni, yeah, that's not bad chat actually.
Is it Napoli, yeah? 8%. That's not too bad.
It's not great though, is it?
I'm
sure we did better last week.
Yeah, we did. Argentina, Monaco. I got a Scooby.
So I think.
So
Sergio Romero.
Yeah, so the last two were Spain and Argentina, both for Monaco.
Didn't
Gallardo.
Saviola? Didn't Saviola play?
Gallardo.
Yeah, Saviola as well. Lucas Ocampos.
What's Gallardo's first name?
Marcelo.
I think we go for that. 8%. Not bad. And Spain, Monaco now. So Fabregas is the obvious one, yeah. But we've got to have more than that, innit?
I think.
Morientes.
Oh, Morientes did for like 1 or 2 seasons. I think he was
before Liverpool.
Early 2000s. He was there.
So we just go with that then. 20% that was. I mean, our rarity score is 182, which isn't awful to be honest.
I think there's some tough ones there that didn't have many.
Yeah. So
who have we got?
The top ones were Sergio Ramos.
Yeah.
These are the most popular. So these are the ones you want to avoid. Really.
Oh, and Ndombele, crikey.
Ndombele.
Leon ones have let us down.
Oh, Martial.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Fabregas.
What was he at?
Lyon, Monaco.
No, what was his percent? I can't see.
32, sorry. 32%. They're all Ndombele's the biggest at 90. All the others and Fabregas 68.
How many
Who's
did
that?
they have?
Fabian Ruiz Pena.
That's him. That's
Oh, is that
Fabian. Who you said about? Yeah.
Looks like 10.
Scroll up, Dave. So look, there you go. Leon and Napoli only had 4.
Yeah, Leon and Napoli, the
Wowza.
4 players were Ndombele, Reynald Pedros, who played in 97, and Antonio Revier, and some bloke from 2018 as well. So
Okay.
Some bloke, never heard of me.
Yeah. And then the Spain, Monaco was only 6. Morientes was 1. Obviously Fabregas and all the others played less than like 12, 13 games. So
yeah,
very difficult. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, the links to that quiz will be in the description of the podcast and the YouTube. Well, we're going to be doing it straight away, so we'll do that very, very soon. But that does bring episode 323 to a close. You can find the links for each of us in the podcast description or by visiting 5starpotential.com, where you can find our latest FM24 content, including Mad's FM24 Youth Academy Challenge and this very podcast in video form. 5-Star Potential is available on iTunes, Spotify, and most of the popular podcast apps and platforms with a new podcast released every single week. Thank you all for listening. There'll be more from us next week. Say goodbye, folks.
Goodbye, folks.
Goodbye, motherfuckers.
Tally ho.